Good morning, ham friends. As promised, part 2 of WSJTX in my FT8 tutorial. We're working with version 2.6.1, the latest version of WSJTX, and it's got a lot of neat stuff in it. First thing I'm going to go over is something that I do each time I start it up. I go through a little checklist. Because I move around so much, I want to make sure that I put in the correct grid square. But there's some other things you can look at. A checklist, you want to make sure that your call sign and grid locator's in there. You want to go over and look at the push to talk, the cat control, and make sure that that's set up right, everything's working. I use data packet, fake it, and I can hit test, make sure it's working before I get going. Test the push to talk, and then I always go over and look at the audio, because sometimes these things just drop out, you know, for one reason or another. They just drop out, and that's what I check in WSJTX. And then I look at my radio, and if I've been on sideband, I want to look at my radio and make sure that the noise blinker noise reduction is off and that the AGC is set to fast. Also want to go to a free spot on the waterfall. I'll move over here, and let's watch the frequency down here. I go to a free spot and I just hit tune, make sure I'm putting out the correct power, the power that I want, and make sure the ALC is good, and that's all good. Looks good. Right now I'm searching for, I've been watching this for Dxpeditions, and I'll have a clip at the end. I think at the end I'll put it in, slip it in there, of chasing Dxpedition. I use Hound Mode, which is down here, and if you watch my previous video, that's how you get these buttons to show up on WSJTX. If you go into settings and over to the advanced, select Hound Mode, and that'll show up. So you can leave it up. It doesn't hurt to leave it up, and I've been doing it. So when I do see a DXpedition pop up, I can quickly click on Hound, and I'm ready to go. But right now we're just using FT8. So that's the Pre-QSO checklist that I go through. The settings in WSJTX, make sure it's working, and then on the radio. And if you watch that first video, I used the preset, the Icom 7300 gives you, and it works just fine. You know, no problems with it. So super easy, super quick to get going on FT8. Another thing that I've been playing around with is in these later versions of WSJTX is the decode. Up here I enabled AP, and what that does is it helps out just a little bit. So if I'm in a QSO with somebody, it kind of predicts what the next transmission is going to be from the guy. The way that I understand it, it kind of predicts it. So I don't sit there waiting for a Roger 73 from him. It kind of helps out a little bit. And there's in the manual for WSJTX, if you go to 12.1, the section 12.1 AP decoding, it kind of gives you an example. When you decide to answer a CQ, you already know the call sign and that your potential QSO partner. So the software therefore knows what might be expected for at least 57 message bits. 28 for each 2 call signs, 1 or more for message type, and the next received message. So it kind of predicts it a little bit. So I think it has been helping out. It keeps me from having to transmit over and over and over. Yeah, I think it has helped. And then you know, what's been in these for a long time has been the free messaging, and I use it down here. It's transmit number 5, and I've got a few in here. Hope to see you again. 73 and good DX. 73. Good to see you again. and I had the 73 in there, so it knows to go ahead and log it if it hasn't already, if I haven't sent him a Roger 73. So it's important to put that 73 in there. But yeah, I see sometimes guys put in there, I see great video or thanks videos, and man, that really it makes me feel good. And they're pretty quick at getting that in there, so they're evidently real pros at this. The other thing, you know, auto sequencing has been in you know, forever in there, because FT8 is so fast. I always use auto sequencing. I just don't even try to manually do it. Let's see. I think one of the last things I want to show you is up here at the active stations, and I'll click up here on the view menu, and this is something I've been using. It's kind of fun. It shows the active stations, and I've been looking for one particular, well, a couple of particular stations actually, but when these pop up, you can go ahead and double click on it, and it'll start the transmission. So you know, it looks for the most points that you would receive in a contest, and which is kind of fun. I like that. So you know, I start at the top, and so when I see this pop up, I start at the top. Let me see if I can get somebody real quick. Well, it didn't start the transmission, doggone it, and that happens sometimes. Let's see what happens here. Maybe it'll be the next one. Okay. And oh, the other thing I wanted to show you is, you see the frequency switch a little bit. It should be 18.1. Well, because I'm using, in my settings, I'm using split, fake it. It does change frequency just a little bit. I'm out of the sweet spot up here. I'm above 2000, so it knows to alter it just a little bit. Now he's finishing up over here. I'm going to call him again. I'm not on top of his frequency, so that's okay. I can call him over here, and he knows I'll be calling him, so maybe he'll just, if he sees me, he'll just go ahead and click on it and send me a report real quick. But yeah, you'll see the frequency shift, and that's totally normal. Okay, he sent a 73. And see, he's way down here. It may be good for me to move a little bit closer to him, because if he's got his filter set differently, if he's not looking at the complete wide graph, if he's not going all the way over to, you know, 2500, he may not see me. And some guys do that. Some guys use their passband tuning to knock out a strong station that's nearby them. You don't ever know, but I usually have pretty good luck doing it this way, even if I'm down here. I'll try him this last time, and if he doesn't come back to me, we'll shoot for another one over here. Oh yeah, his report would be a -24. So he's pretty weak. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and halt it. That's another thing I guess I should mention. And I don't always look at the signal report that I'm seeing over here. Let's see. This guy is here we go. This one, he'd be a -4. So I'll start trying to give him a call. He's a little bit closer to me, my calling frequency. And if I hit the shift and slide over just a little bit, okay, there he is. Let's see if he hears me. Well, boy, he dropped down. He's minus 24. That's a real light copy on him. Let's see. I can just see him, just see his frequency over here, or see his transmission over here, just a little bit in the waterfall. Well, he went back to somebody else, so I'm going to hit halt. But anyway, that's the active stations list, and well, I have used it and it's worked for me, but it's not going to work for me in the video. I might try it one more time here. See, these are real light stations, real. Let's see, well, that's in the United States, so I'm not gonna try him. Here's one, IK8HIS. Let's see. Oh, IK2 XDE. IK2 XDE -8. That one might be one I could get. This, you know, looking at these active stations, bringing this up and trying to make contacts. There he is right there. He's got a pretty good signal. He just gave a Roger plus 14 to someone. So let's see. I'm going to continue to call him and see if he returns to me. But having this active stations up and playing around with it, it just increases my enthusiasm in FT8 again. This and searching for foxes, the DXpeditions. It makes things new and exciting again, and you know, it's not the same old boring FT8. There he goes. He sent a 73. Let's see if I get him. And he's still pretty strong. Alright, there we go. And see, he sent me a minus 24, so I'm really light. Let's see if I can get a Roger from him. And why do they put in two R's, Roger? Why not just a Roger 73? Well, it fills in that fourth space in there. Having 4 in there is better than having 3. I saw that somewhere in the manual. There we go. And yep, I'm putting out 100 watts. I'm trying to hit those Dxpeditions, so I got it cranked up. I'm using a G5 RV and it's up 30 feet. And I've got GridTracker going. GridTracker does my logging into log for the old man. So that is WSJTX active stations, and that's a lot of fun. So oh, here, let's go ahead and try him. This is a different one. Oh boy, yeah, I think I tried to call him, didn't I? He was in there. He was in the active stations. Yeah, IKAHIS. And I'm probably going to be real light to him too. And one thing you'll notice in the active stations, that contact that I just made, now see, he's still showing up in here, so you want to make a note. Don't go back and try him again, you know, 5 minutes later. Yeah, I've got it cranked up to 100 watts, and my ALC is about 1/3 scale. SWR is 1 to 3, yeah, 1.3 to 1. Go ahead and close that. Come on. I'm going to move closer to him. and I can move closer to him even when I'm transmitting. Let's see if I can get him. And let's go back over here to mode or decode, and I got AP enabled. Hadn't helped me out. Maybe it will. Or maybe he doesn't have it set. So yeah, we'll try him a couple times and see. When I was looking for a Dxpedition, a couple of them, man, I must have transmitted 50 times before I got that one. Well, maybe not 50, maybe 25 times. And I could see him. He was on the he was over here in the band activity. I could see his transmissions, but still, it was that must have been real light. I forget that one I was trying. But yeah, it kind of renews my enthusiasm in FT8, trying these different approaches. And I see some other stations in here now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and halt. So yeah, on the filtering, open up your filters. My filter 1 on my Icom 7300 is 3 dots, 3.6 kilohertz, or yeah, 3. Let me look at that again. I'm going to press it on my radio. Yeah, 3.6 kilohertz, and so I've got it wide open. It really stops about over here at 3300. It really stops about right here. You can't get much further than that, maybe 32, and that's normal. I've seen that in the manual too. But anyway, open it up, and so you can see the entire wide graph. And I start at 200 now because my if I'm looking for a Fox of a Dxpedition, they start at 300 hertz, so I'll see them about right in here, up on the wide graph. Now a lot of the Dxpeditions, let me run through how I've been hunting them, or how I was hunting them and will be hunting them with Log for the Old Man. And I do have posts up and videos up of how to get WSJTX integrated with Log for the Old Man and GridTracker. And I'm also using WF-View. I've been using it. It's pretty cool. I can go in and hit the tune button and make sure my antenna's tuned, ready to go. I guess that would be in my Pre-QSO Checklist also. I forgot that. Let's see, what was I talking about? Dxpeditions. And the way that I've been doing it in Log for the Old Man is I just go in and I set them up under alerts, and alert configuration, and I've got existing rule here, Dxpeditions. And then I've got email notification enabled, and I didn't get an email on these, so I got something haywire there. But I put in all the Dxpeditions in here. Now, so they'll pop up in my cluster. I'll get an alert, and the bands 80 through 10. FT8's checked off, digital's down here, is selected. The origin, that's important, North America. I don't want to see ones pop up with spotters over in Europe. They're just so far away it wouldn't be relative to me. None of this matters over here, and then I hit save. So yeah, the calls are in there. These are all the calls. You just type in the call and hit the plus sign. Got a bunch of them in there. I'm going to have to go through and set up April. So let me close that out, and when an alert pops up, this little box turns red, and I'll see it, and I can just click on it, and a window pops up and tells me where they're at, and then I can just double click on it, and it takes me to the band they're on. The band and the frequency, band and correct frequency, because Dxpeditions aren't normally on the standard FT8 frequency. They're off of it a little bit. So if you look at other guys' videos, they'll tell you to go in and in WSJT-X and enter in their frequencies for the Dxpedition, which you do by going to File and Settings, and then over to Frequencies, and you just add the Dxpedition's frequency, their posted frequency, which is, I found it difficult to find, and they're not always on it. They're on a different frequency, or they're on the standard frequency. So I didn't even bother doing that. I'm just using my DX cluster. So yeah, so when a Dxpedition comes on and I get a spotter from North America, they'll show up here, and I just click on it, and then the window pops up, and I double click on it, and it takes me to their frequency. Sometimes I'll see them down here. I usually see them up here first, and then I'll see them down here. And let's see, and I can go through this and just look and see, you know, here's a guy right here on 114.075. That's pretty close to 74. So that, I think what that is they're spotting him on that frequency. So he's on 174, and then up 1.1K. So when it's a Dxpedition, you'll see him listed as something like 18.091 or 14. What frequency was he on? 14.092, I think. And when I see one of those frequencies in here, one that's really off, then I know that's a Dxpedition or a special station. Something's going on, and I'll double click on it. I don't think VE2CSI is a Dxpedition. It's Canada. No, it wouldn't be. So that's how I find the Dxpeditions. And that way has been working for me. I've been doing it the last 3 nights, and I've made a few contacts. Let me see. I've got who I have in there. That was the last one I just made a little while ago. This was a Dxpedition, and I think this one. No, I don't know if that was a Dxpedition. There's Ukraine. There was another Dxpedition. I made 2 of them. Oh, this one down here, V26EI. That's another one. And Sable Island. So yeah, let's see, 3 of them. That's the way I found them, using Log for the Old Man and the alert. So if you're using Ham Radio Deluxe, you know, you set up an alert in Ham Radio Deluxe. If you're using N3FJP, set up an alert in N3FJP and have the DX cluster going, and then when it pops up, you can just double click on it, and it'll take you to the correct frequency that they're on. So that's how I was doing that at Dxpedition. And yeah, I just want to let's see. A lot of the times it's a little confusing, you know, is it a good contact? Is it a solid contact? You know, I'm sending Roger Roger 73, or I'm sending 73. He never comes back with the 73, and I lose him. As long as I had sent a Roger message, as long as I had sent a Roger message, then it's a good contact, and that's you can see that in the manual for WSJTX. So the golden rule is to log the QSO whenever we see a Roger message. So you don't have to, sometimes guys just keep sending me Roger Roger 73, expecting me to send the 73 back, and I'll send it back 5 times, and they still don't get it. They don't receive it. So I just have to move on. I'm not going to sit there. I want them to see it and feel comfortable with the QSO, but I can't sit there for 15 minutes trying to get them to see that. So the golden rule is to log the QSO whenever we send a Roger message. So there you go. Let's see, what else did I wanted to go over? I think that was about it. There was one more thing that I saw, and I haven't tried it yet, so I'm going to just try it. Let me pull up my messages here. Here's a link I sent myself, and this was in one of the guides I saw. See, I do all this reading so you don't have to do it. And let's see, I'm going to open my file explorer and put this in there. Well, that didn't work, did it? Okay, there it is. Programs, Microsoft Windows, Start Menu, and Programs. Oh, okay, it did. And now I'm looking redundant messages, redundancy in here. WSJTX. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them in here. I can get rid of these. These are under the Start menu, and let's see. I'm going to go over here and look, and all apps. Let's see how many WSJTXs I got in there. Yep, got well, at least got these two. It's showing 2.4, 2.5, 2.54, 2.61. I've got the latest one, that one right here. Yeah, okay, well, it's evidently showing some up here, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. Just hit the shift and click, highlight them all, and then hit the delete key. So it kind of cleans up my my menu over there. So yeah, that's, I guess, a little bit helpful. I opened WSJTX. I've got it right on my desktop. Got the shortcut on my desktop, so I open it that way anyhow. So, but I think I'm going to go over and start using JTDX again. A couple of guys had mentioned that it works really well. A couple of my subscribers, and I'd like to get proficient at that software. I've used it before, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, to keep my enthusiasm up, just keep switching programs around and seeing what I can find and what I like. But I did a Dxpedition just last night, and I was so excited to get that one. It just worked just perfect. It was the last one in my log, so I'll have that coming up. So have a look at that. Okay, well, I heard him, so I'm going to try to give him a call. E6CI. Not sure what Dxpedition he is, or they are, but I found them over here. Popped up in my alerts. There it is, the alerts. On 17 meters. and I'm putting out 100 watts into a G5RV up about 30 feet. I don't think I've made a contact with this Dxpedition yet. Did have one the other day. Okay, there we go, and our transmit indicator jumped over to where he is, 558 hertz. He's sending me a -8, which is still pretty good. There I go, yippee! And that's my my Hound. And that's it. I'm operating Hound mode. So a good contact. E6CI. And he came up on my alerts. I've got him in my alerts and log for the old man. So he came up here. I just double clicked on him and it set me to the right frequency. And it is listed as USB mode, but as soon as I transmit, and I was already on USB-D, but as soon as I transmit, it'll jump over to USB-D, and I just got to make sure I'm down here, up here, over 1,000 hertz when I call them, because they're down below between 300 and 300 and 600 hertz that they call on the Foxes. I'll have to refresh my memory on that one, but anyway, they're down here, and you don't want to call them on their frequency or anywhere close to their frequency. You want to be above 1,000 hertz. So yeah, good contact, and that's, I think the easy way to do it is put the Dxpeditions in the alerts, and I'll show you how I got it set up with log for the old man. You can do this with just about any logging program. I'm going to go up, oh, where is it? Alert configuration. I made a group here, Dxpeditions, and added a bunch of call signs in there. The ones that are active in March, and yeah, the March through the end of March. I'll have to go through and add some for April, but that's the way I've got it set up. Every band except 160 meters and 6 meters, and then the origin of the spots, North America. I don't want to see spots from Europe, or the spotters in Europe. The reporter is in Europe. I want to see them from the North America. And that's it. I click save, and there you go. Oh, hey, I almost forgot. I don't do a script with these videos. I just wing it. And I want to mention GridTracker. And if you're chasing Dxpeditions, this is an excellent way to do it too. Let me bring up GridTracker, because a lot of the Dxpeditions, like I said, they're on standard frequencies. They don't use the Hound, Fox Hound modes, aren't applicable to them. They're just on the standard frequency, and that's the way I found some of them. See, I've got a new alert up here. This is PJ7 Alpha Alpha, and he was on 17 meters. Last seen, well, let's see, not too long ago, I guess. Yeah, not too long ago, 14-19. So the way I got this set up, and this is the call roster. If you've been following me, I've got videos on setting up GridTracker. But let me go into the settings and I'll show you there it is. Okay, here it is. I'm going to go ahead and hit dismiss to get this out of the way. Over on the alerts tab, this is, see all the ones that I put in. I got some subscribers in there, and then I've got some DXpeditions in there. And this guy, this is the one that we just saw that popped up. Let's see, alerted. That's the only one that. Let's see. He was alerted. E6CI, and then TO1Q got an alert from him that he was on, or that station was on. I keep saying him. It's just a Dxpedition, bunch of guys. So to enter in the Dxpeditions, the website that I've been using. Let me pull that up. That's important. The one that I've been using is I can't remember it, to tell you the truth. DX News, that's the one. Oh, I don't have any internet. Doggone it. Let me bring that up. That's what happens when you operate from your camper. Yeah, that's what happens when you operate from your camper. So I go to dxnews.com, and here are the Dxpeditions, and you can click on them and see, see where they are and all that, and you can see the last spot. And if you were trying to utilize this website to chase Dxpeditions, in my opinion, it'd be a little bit difficult, and you'd have to have real good internet access, which I just showed you. I don't. Mine drops off. So what I do is I go over to the calendar. This is how I find those call signs to put into my alerts, like the one for log for the old man, and then GridTracker. I go to the calendar, and I'm looking for the ones at the end of the month. And these guys already passed through, so here's a couple down here. Here's another couple still valid. These guys are valid. So I just would go in to GridTracker and put those call signs in there and hit add and notify. I've been doing pop-ups, but text-to-speech works real well. I've got that set, the alert set that way, or at least it's an audible on log for the old man. It's an audible alert because I'm in my bed in my camper, and I can't see the screen, but I can hear the computer. So when a Dxpedition comes on, I get an alert, a sound. It's a ding, and I know to jump up and give them a try. So in this one, I think in the future I'll use text-to-speech, or they got another one in here, a media file. That'd probably work better. I don't need to hear their AI speech, and I just use a media file. But put them in there, hit add a bunch of them in there, and then when you're on the standard frequency and they pop up, then you can go ahead and make the contact. They'll show up over here in the call roster, and you can make just click on it and make a contact. Or you'll see them in WSJT-X, and you can make a contact. So and I found a lot of them to be on the standard frequencies. So that's the way you can chase them when they're on the standard frequency. So if they're on the standard frequency, I use GridTracker, and they will still let me see how to explain that. When they're on the standard frequency, they'll pop up in GridTracker when I can hear them, so I have a real good chance of making a contact with them. And when log for the old man, these alerts in the cluster, even if they're on the standard frequency, they'll show up over here, and I'll see them in the standard frequency, but it doesn't always mean that I'm receiving their signal. You know, so the reliability may be, here's the reliability threshold, and I've played around with that too. So see, these would be it'd be a pretty reliable connection with these guys right in here, according to the software. And you know, propagation, here's the propagation up here. So you know, it'd be a pretty reliable contact. But the guys that are not on the standard frequencies, they would also show up here, and the reliability threshold would still be applicable. Yeah, would still be applicable to it. So it's such a reliability threshold, put it up just a tad, and you know, see if it's going to be a reliable contact, see if it predicts it right. And you know, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but you know, it's the best we can do. So yeah, I didn't want to forget that. And if you got any questions, please, I know I might have just created a lot of questions, so if you have any questions, please comment below. Okay, so if you've watched these two videos, you know everything I know about WSJTX, and if I find out any more tips, I'll pass them along to you. I really appreciate the comments below, so please, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and ring that bell so you're notified when I put out a new video. If you find this useful, please share it with your friends. They might get something out of it too. And you know, chasing these Dxpeditions, that's really added a lot of fun into it for me. So that's a big plus. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you on the waterfall. 73 and good DX.